Hey, everybody, it's the coach. You're tuned in to Sunday Night Football on...
Coach, thanks. CA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the Inner Harbor and M&T Bank Stadium here in Baltimore, Maryland. Tonight, we've got a great Sunday night matchup between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Baltimore Ravens. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. And now movement here right away. Maybe a sign of things to come with this crowd.
False start, offense.
So that'll back them up 5.
Still first down.
A false start backs them up 5, 1st and 15. Jameis to throw it. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the longtime Charger, Eric Weddle. And they will take over at the 29-yard line.
Brandon, when we sat with the offensive coordinator and the head coach and talked about how they wanted to begin this game offensively, they talked about their script, didn't they? 10 to 15 plays, the first 10 to 15 they had on their script. Nowhere on the script was there throwing an interception, I have to believe.
After review of the play, the ruling on the field stands.
Here's the first carry for Alex Collins. And he's going to be stopped here on this first play as he gets it to the line of scrimmage and no more. No gain on the play there, 2nd down. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle. That's what we saw right there.
Yeah, that's what their job is. And really, a lot of the time, they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold them to no gain.
18 yards there, and it'll be a 1st and goal. Well, one unit I know you want to watch is that offensive line. If they keep clearing holes like that, it could be a long night defensively. And he will force his way into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown. Alex Collins, a 10-yard touchdown run. And the Ravens have taken the early lead.
I know we don't talk about it enough, but the intelligence level of the guys up front blocking, the offensive linemen, maybe the smartest guys in football overall. Add in a little bit of athleticism and a whole lot of toughness, you've got a lot to deal with, don't you?
That's why the guys in the backfield get them really nice Christmas gifts, right?
If they're smart, they do.
And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback.
Tampa Bay marching back onto the field. It'll be interesting to see what they do this year. Now, they have not made the playoffs since 2007, and I've got their schedule right here, and the schedule makers did not do them any favors. I know you've probably seen it, but take a look at that.
You're exactly right as you hand me this sheet of paper. They open at New Orleans, who won the AFC South last year. Then they're home against Philadelphia, who won the Super Bowl last year. Then they're home against Pittsburgh on a Monday nighter, and the Steelers went deep into the playoffs last year before going to Chicago in Game 4. That is a brutal opening schedule. Fortunately enough, 2 of the first 3 are at home.
Yeah, so those first 3 games, they won 11, 13, and 13 games a season ago.
They go play action here on 1st down. Going for the deep ball. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete. The safety that time, Tony Jefferson there on the coverage.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on 1st down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on 1st down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock Galvin away and bring up second down.
Now Jones. And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. And now the Ravens are going to take another timeout. And that's their second charge timeout here in this first quarter. They're down to 1 remaining. Now whistles here before the snap. Looked like one of the Bucs may have moved.
False start, offense.
Maybe anticipating a blitz, and they jumped.
Yeah, and if we saw it, you know that they saw it. The bad guys might have been coming on that play. Had to pick them up, and they jumped.
A false start backs them up 5, 1st and 15.
Ready? 125.
After the penalty, it's Jones pushing forward for 3 up to the 48. And now we're going to get a timeout here called by the defense. And my goodness, they're now out of timeouts here in this first quarter. Now a second down throw for Winston. That's caught by the big tight end, O.J. Howard. And he'll be brought down, it looks like right at the 40. It's a pickup of 12, and that'll set up a third down.
And after that completion, you can understand why so many teams in the league are emphasizing speed on defense at every position. The tight ends have created so many tough matchups now. If you can't run with the tight end as linebacker, this is going to be the result every time.
And brought down, but able to get it to their 30-yard line. Give them 10 yards there as this offense is on a roll. This drive continues to plunge forward. Got to say, I was a little surprised to see him, Charles, come out in the shotgun on 3rd and less than a yard.
Yeah, but the way the NFL is nowadays, we hardly ever see anyone really run for it on short yardage. So they're going to throw the football more times than not. That was a nice, easy rhythm throw right there, and they pick up the first down.
The false start backs him up 5, 1st and 15. Here's Winston. He's got the hook up here to Deshaun Jackson. And he'll go down at the 28. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion.
Nothing fancy on first down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed. Because you hit a guy on the run like that, he often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for second down, staying ahead of schedule. First catch there for Evans, good enough for a first down.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
Now a first down carry by Jones. And he stopped immediately there. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be second down.
All right, quick observation, Brandon, because early on in this game, I'm seeing linebackers playing with their noses close to the line of scrimmage.
And my guess is the wheels are turning on that other sideline. As a play caller, you're filing that away right now, aren't you?
Yeah, you're trying to find that opportunity later on when you can play action them or stick something to them between the second and the third level.
They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for third down.
When Mike Evans sees man coverage, I don't think he's the only guy who gets excited. I'll guarantee the guy throwing the ball does, because guess what? He's got a lot of options about where to place it because of Mike Evans' size and frame.
Meanwhile, on third down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete. Fine work by the Baltimore defense to help bring up fourth down.
After review of the play,
here's Chandler Catanzaro for the extra point. Extra point good by Catanzaro, and we are tied at 7. So we're right back where we started, all even as the kick's away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. It's a foot race. He's at the 50. He's at the 30. Past the 20. And they are finally going to stop him, but what a return. All the way to the 10.
Similar to golf, you never want to count a score before it actually happens, but you have to figure. They thought they were going to get 6 on that play. Great effort to keep him out of the end zone, but a big-time return.
On first and goal, Collins. And he'll get about 4 there as he takes it from the 10 down to the 6.
Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here, and what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up the touchdown.
They'll give it to him up the middle. So he got free of 1 tackle but couldn't do a whole lot else. Calling a gain of a yard as they get a little bit closer here. It's 3rd and goal.
Well, the spotlight hit him once already tonight as he got into the end zone. He was trying to make it a double spotlight, wasn't he?
But credit the defense, bottling him up, not letting him get in for the second score there. Here's Flacco, and this is going to be incomplete.
Those throwing windows get a lot tighter near the end zone, don't they? And here's the thing. You already probably have 3 points in your hip pocket. You force a throw here and give up an interception, you come away with nothing.
Especially tough in the middle third of the field where he threw that one. Now Flacco. Got a man, it's caught for a Ravens touchdown. John Brown, a 5-yard touchdown. And the Ravens are in for 6. Big 4th down conversion for the score, and the defense, that is a tough pill to swallow.
Big time for them. How about them just deciding to go for it on 4th down? And, okay, forget the field goal, because that looked like an easy 3 points. Yeah, you might have had a defensive breakdown in there, but they pressed the issue and found a way to get it into the end zone. Give them big credit for that.
Now the Buccaneer offense gets set to take over. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
And he'll get this one up to the 26. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Jackson's got it over the middle. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down. I think defensively you're okay with that. Here in the first quarter, he's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that, you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch, now you put the offense in a position where every series they have to work hard to pick up first downs, and you tend to stall them out when you do that.
Anger is on to punt, and he gets this one away. Taking it about the 16. A very good return that time. 18 yards. And the Ravens, they'll take over. And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. And right now they're saying, hey, let's keep this going. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, can't ask for a better start than that, can you? I mean, this is the way you practice it. This is the way you rehearse it. But right now, the play calling, they're locked in really well.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment. But here, he's one that has to absorb the contact. And as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
Play action. Flacco. And incomplete.
Let's give some credit to the defensive guys on that play. Able to bat that one away. Sure looked like they were trying to hit the corner route.
Flacco off play action. And it falls incomplete after almost being intercepted. A pick there would have been great. The good news for the defense now, it's 4th down.
Brandon, their last miss on 3rd down, they actually were able to alleviate it because they picked it up with a 4th down conversion. I don't know that they'd be wise to try and do that again here. To me, you got to punt the ball away.
And able to find John Brown.
And he's going to have a first down as he's brought down at the 44-yard line. So not only do they convert on fourth, but they pick up 22 yards in the process.
Brandon, I have one word for you after that completion for a first down.
Lucky?
Analytics.
Well, now that'll be tipped and intercepted. Vernon Hargreaves.
Hey, everybody, it's the coach.
Coach, thanks. CA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the Inner Harbor at M&T Bank Stadium here in Baltimore, Maryland. Tonight, we've got a great Sunday night matchup between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Baltimore Ravens. And now running right through it. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. They fake the handoff. Now Flacco to pass. Open receiver, that's Hayden Hurst, the tight end. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. That one goes for 24 yards.
I do believe we'll see a little bit more of this as this game progresses, because when you can have that type of a gain in the middle of the defense, it hurts them in so many ways, because most teams like to be strong down the middle. And if you can sting them there, that opens things up for them on the outside as well.
That's where their big tight end, is so good, that middle third, the seam routes, the in routes. Yeah, you're right. Probably see more of that.
Yeah, it takes a lot of courage and fortitude to go in the middle as well, and he's got it.
So the same tandem connecting on back-to-back throws to start the game.
And maybe throwing the scouting report off just a little bit. That's not exactly what they think is going to be their number one receiver, but he's producing already early in this game.
Throwing here on first down, Flacco. And it's incomplete, broken up. But there is a flag down. Let's see what that's about.
Pass interference. Defense.
So flag for the contact, pass interference.
And I know that you're going to look at me and roll your eyes, and rightfully so, because you know what I'm going to say. Doesn't the defender have a right to the football as well?
No, I don't like defenders.
That's because you spent too much time with me. Okay, I'll side with you on this one. Here's the correct call.
Flacco fakes the give, sets to throw. Caught left side to Crabtree. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown. Michael Crabtree, a 24-yard touchdown. And the Ravens have taken the early lead. Well, that's how they envisioned it, get the football to start the game and score.
And I don't know if that was scripted. Was it an audible? Or was it just a play call that they had in their pocket? No matter what, they had the right call on against the right defense, and they end up in the end zone.
So they only needed 3 plays on that drive. And it's capped off by the Baltimore score. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Winston and the Bucs take over now, 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. The first down throw for Winston. And his first look is incomplete. He was trying to find O.J. Howard, and that'll bring up 2nd down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
This is Jones. And once again, not much running room, if any at all. Calling no gain on the run there, and now they'll be looking at a 3rd down. And he got off the end there very quickly to make that play.
Yeah, it was almost like the bullet train, wasn't it? I mean, just zoom, quick, and what a terrific play, holding them to no gain.
And he rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by Brandon Carr. And he's able to get it back here to the 43-yard line.
Well, they didn't exactly show patience there, did they? Just down a score, they come out firing right away and compound things by throwing an interception. They put their defense in a really tough spot.
A first carry now for Alex Collins. Oh, now he bowls him over. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. Give him 10 yards on the pickup, and that'll bring up a 2nd and just about a few inches here.
Now, that was an excellent run. And when you see that happen, that's when you're seeing guys doing their job and then some people doing a little bit more. Offensive linemen and tight ends, they're expected to block. But the wide receivers, all they want to do is catch passes.
And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. Alex Collins, 33 yards. And the Ravens will extend their lead. Solid job up front, really just a solid job all the way around to get that one in.
That was well executed, wasn't it? Well blocked, well run. End result, 6 points.
Touchdown. Here's Tucker now out to kick this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Now the Buccaneer offense set to take over again. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board.
Ready. Black 22. Where's that up? Where's that up?
A give to Jones. And he's across the 40, 3 extra yards to the 43. Terrell Suggs in on the tackle.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down, a very solid gain on that play.
Now Jameis on 2nd down. And the Raven pressure too much. Down he goes.
Well, someone's been up to the task so far in this game. They are already up a couple of scores, Brandon, and guess what? I think they're just going to pin their ears back now and get upfield and get after the quarterback.
Been such an impressive first half to get that lead. On 3rd down, Winston. And he's got a man. It's the tight end Howard, complete. And now the Raven defense going to call a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. Jameis now on 1st down. And his pass incomplete. The tight end Cameron Brate was the target. And that'll bring up 2nd down.
Let's face it, if you want to get back into the game, these are the kind of throws you got to hit. He's wide open right there. Got to be able to get it to him, don't you think?
And those are the throws that haven't been available to them every time he's dropped a pass. Yeah, that's a big miss. And a short gain down to about the 33. Just a couple there on the 2nd down run. Now they're staring at a 3rd and 8 situation.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. What that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, He looked like one of those guys.
Now throwing on third down there, but he cannot connect. Fine work by the Baltimore defense to help bring up fourth down.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on third down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Third down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him. Well, this winds up an empty possession. Everything looked okay. He just never got the ball on target. And knowing him, he'll be disappointed with that effort.
Operating off play action. Flacco drops it underneath for Collins. A good cover defensively as they get to him just beyond the 45 after the juke. Give him 6 on the play, and it's a second down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
That's caught by the former Sooner, Mark Andrews. Still fighting. There he goes left side. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. Mark Andrews, 54 yards. And the Ravens will add on to their lead.
Well, Brandon, if we go back to our meeting with the offensive coordinator, he showed us his script. Didn't show us everything now. He said, here's the script for the game. I think everything's going according to plan in a big way. 3 drives, 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, that's about as good. That is as good as you can do, I guess. So, well done.
Yeah, well done indeed. Tremendous execution.
And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. So out come the Bucs now.
And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here, or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the first half. I'm not saying you have ultimate patience here, but you also don't have to go ahead and force everything either.
On second down, it's Jones. And he's able to plow forward up to about the 29, just shy of the 30. Call it a gain of 4, and it'll leave him with a third down and 6 to go.
We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this first quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They stacked him up pretty well, but when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game. Keep handing it to him, and some of those runs that aren't working now, they turn into 6, 7, 8, and maybe more later on.
Now a third down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess.
This will be fielded at the 17. So possession goes over here on the punt. The Ravens offense now, they get set to head back on the field.
And the ledger for them so far looks pretty good, doesn't it?
It certainly does. Touchdown, touchdown, touchdown. Not sure it can be much better than that. They've got to feel very good about the groove that they're in at this stage of the game.
Throw left side complete. It's Collins. And all the way down to the 24-yard line. A big play there on the catch and run. 42 yards.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play. They picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
Flacco will come to the line, 1st and 10. And he's a perfect 6 for 6 here to start the ball game. The play action fake. They'll look to throw. And it is caught at the 7. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. The Raven passing game getting in sync. Another first down.
Well, from an offense's perspective, that sure was pretty because the corner route, it's extremely difficult to defend from my perspective.
What we just saw there, is that sort of the evolution of the tight end position?
Yeah, I think it is because more and more, tight ends are being treated like wide receivers. These are some agile players who can make a play in any spot on the field.
He'll get it up the middle, and he's going to press this one forward as they stop him right around the 1.
He's already scored once. He definitely had his eyes wide open trying to get in there a second time, but I thought that was a really nice play defensively to deny him.
Yeah, it was, as you said, keeping him away from his second first-quarter touchdown there. They'll give it to him up the middle, and he will force his way into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown. Alex Collins with his second touchdown in this opening quarter, and the Ravens will extend their lead. Tucker able to connect on the extra point, and the route is on here in this first half. Here's Tucker now out to kick this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Here comes the Tampa Bay offense now heading back out onto the field. Typically down to the first half, I might say, oh, you at least need a field goal out of this drive, but they're down to the point where they need a touchdown, don't they?
Yeah, normally, you know me. You've been around me for a while now, right? I'm sorry about that. But normally, I'm the one preaching patience.
Yeah.
You know, take your time. First half, you still got a chance. I think they're out of patience here. This has to be a drive that gets a touchdown. So if you're the play caller, you're going to that portion of the sheet that says big-time plays, specials, anything you can use to get yourself back into it.
And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. And now the Ravens are going to take another timeout. And that's their second charged timeout here in this first quarter. They're down to 1 remaining. And they'll keep on the ground with Jones. And he'll get this up past the 45 to the 47. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3. Well, you're down early. How do you get back in the game? Maybe establish the run. I think they're trying to do that.
Now, I'm with you on that one. And what I like about the message is that there's no panic from the head coach. He's already told his offensive coordinator, let's run the football. Let's get things settled down a little bit and find our way back into this game.
And play is stopped here. Timeout. It's the defense calling the timeout here. And my goodness, they're now out of timeouts here in this first quarter.
Ready. Blue way.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. The former Charger All-Pro, Eric Weddle, on the stop. Well, they're making an effort to get the ground game going tonight. So far, it's working.
I like what we're seeing from the offensive line. They seem to have the leverage going and are controlling things and reestablishing the line of scrimmage, moving that defensive front backwards. I also like what the runner's giving us, too. It appears that he's been waiting all day long to get out here and take off.
Defense able to get there, swarm to the football. Zilch, 0 nada there for the offense, Charles.
Yeah, it really was an example of good team defense, wasn't it? Everyone handled their responsibilities, and they held them to no gain.
Ready.
Winston from the gun on 3rd down. And that is incomplete.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on 3rd down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a 4th down decision.
The Ravens offense now, they get set and head back onto the field. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive.
Well, this is taken in. It's complete. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. 3 touchdown passes now for Joe Flacco. And the Ravens add on. And when a Hail Mary is completed for a touchdown pass like that, I think any defensive coordinator just puts their face right into their hands.
I don't think there's any doubt about it, and I don't have stats in front of me. I don't have the empirical numbers that say that in recent years the Hail Mary pass has been completed more than it has been, but it feels that way, doesn't it? And I know the defenses are spending more time on it. I think the biggest mistake they make is that they play everything from behind the receiver. I think they've got to start getting people in front as well to try and knock the ball away.
And the Buccaneers getting ready to go as they take the field. Last time out, they had that long 50-plus yard field goal that they missed.
And I'm sure on their sideline, they're thinking to themselves, okay, do we still want to... try one if we're in that position again? And I would dare say that the answer would be yes. They're going to have a lot of confidence in their kicker. But just to be on the safe side, I'm sure they told their offensive guys, can we get a little bit closer this time?
Yeah, get a little closer.
Yeah, you know, I'd rather get in the end zone first and foremost. But if all else fails, less of a field goal attempt for him.
Play action now, Winston. Oh, he's got a little daylight. The ball comes out, but this will get out of bounds, so possession will stay the same.
Now, I have to admit, partner, that I've often thought that I don't like this rule, where the offensive player fumbles the ball, it goes out of bounds, and they get to keep it.
That's just because you're a defensive guy. That's why you don't like it.
Yeah, you're right. It is a slanted view, isn't it?
But this is where, for the offensive team, the sideline is their friend. Usually it's not their friend.
Yeah, exactly right. I actually played for a guy in college. You know what he used to name the sideline? Sammy. Sammy sideline, and use him well.
Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
And this is why aggressive defensive coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D lineman to make the play.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And they see right through that defensively as he'll be hit and taken down to the backfield.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
Jameis to throw it. Evans has it left side. And they'll be inside the 25 now at the 24. The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up 4th. On is Chandler Catanzaro now for the Buccaneer field goal. From the left hash, this will be a 41-yarder. But this one's not close. Not even close. Short and to the right. It's no good. And this score will stay right where it is. So that now 3 misses here in this first half.
And the important thing is you just can't get discouraged. You may still have some chances to make amends in the second half, so you've got to get yourself in the right frame of mind to get the job done.
Looking for his tight end on the corner. It's complete. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. That one good for 13 and a Raven first down. And with that completion, he's now north of 200 yards here in the first half. Boy, a tough start for the secondary defensively.
It is, and it's got to put a dent in their confidence. And, you know, you always want to keep that up and feel like you can always bounce back after plays. But with the kind of numbers he's putting up here, it's starting to wear on them a little bit, I think. So they're looking at each other and trying to figure out what defense will work and how can they play better without getting beat deep for big passes.
Now they're making a real first-quarter statement with a run game, no doubt.
For those who remember old-school football, running it, establishing things, seeing backs find holes, get through them, they got to like what they're seeing from this unit so far. Right now, they've decided to, as you've said, establish the run game, and they've been successful doing it. Well, they came into this game saying it was important that they set the tone and show that they can run the football. I believe that they've done that here in the first quarter.
Here's a first down run with Collins. And a short gain there down to the 37-yard line. It was Mitch Unrein that made the tackle.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now, we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
And he is into the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown. Alex Collins doing it again with his 3rd touchdown here in the opening quarter. And the Ravens continue to pour it on. Now he's on pace now for 12 rushing touchdowns, and I think he's making fantasy owners smile.
I think you've got to change something on defense, don't you?
Back here with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. We've had the kickoff to begin the first quarter. Now it's time for the second quarter kickoff, as we'll see one following the score on the final play before break. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. And this offense trotting back onto the field. Let's turn our attention here to Ronald Jones. He's been good. They've utilized him well, but they're losing here in the second quarter. What might they change offensively?
I think that what you try and do is expand how you get the ball to him a little bit. Get him out in open space, maybe swing the ball to him. What's that they used to call it in the West Coast offense, the long handoff? Yeah. Serve as your running play that way, as well as continue to feed him the football. Some of these runs now may pop bigger later in the game because of the effects of running it. Sometimes people, after a while, they don't want to tackle him anymore, or they get tired, or they get out of position, or he runs through tackles. Continue to feed him the ball. He's having that kind of game.
Yeah, might they get him the ball in some space in some different ways here.
But you got to give kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball, because they were in a second and long situation.
And he goes down. The Ravens able to get to him. C.J. Mosley in there to drop him for a 6-yard loss, and that'll lead to a 4th down.
Well, that play was the very definition of fast, quick, and in a hurry. Suddenly, he was there.
Yeah, blink of an eye. That happened fast, and a big sack. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. This is taken at the 15. So a change of possession here on the punt. And out will come the offense as they take over. Now Flacco and the Raven offense come up 1st and 10 at the 33-yard line. They go play action here on 1st down. And lucky to get away with one there. That one nearly picked. 2nd down.
Well, CD, in a couple of weeks we can make our Super Bowl predictions, but for right now, I want to get your AFC Division Champion predictions. Who do you have?
All right, let's start in the AFC East. It's New England. Do we need to say any more?
No, I don't think so. I don't think there's a challenger behind them in that division right now.
That tends to cover. Miami believes that they can be. Buffalo will be starting over with a new quarterback. So will the Jets. How about the AFC South? I'm going to give you a surprise there. I think Houston comes back and reclaims their crown and moves ahead of Jacksonville and Tennessee, who were both in the playoffs last year. The good health of Deshaun Watson, J.J. Watt, Whitney Merciless, Houston in a surprise pick.
All right, how about the West? The West is always intriguing. Who are you taking there?
One of the better divisions in football. John Gruden's back in Oakland. Kansas City has a new quarterback in Patrick Mahomes. Denver has a new quarterback in Case Keenum, plus a terrific defense. But I think the L.A. Chargers ride away with this division crown. Philip Rivers has to get it done. Somewhat approaching the twilight of his career. And I love their pass rush with Joey Bosa and Melvin Ingram.
And in the North, I'm guessing you're going Steelers.
I think I have to go the Pittsburgh Steelers. Everyone else has big question marks. The Steelers have Big Ben. And they're really upset about the way 2017 ended when they lost to Jacksonville in the playoffs.
Now it's Flacco. Wide open receiver complete. And he is into the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown. Hayden Hurst, 30 yards. And the Ravens add on. And nowadays in NFL football, you have to account for all the receivers, sure, but the tight end's such a weapon, and they prove it right there.
Oh, without a doubt. And we're seeing now the golden age of tight ends catching the football. I go back to Kellen Winslow. To me, he was a prototype of what we're seeing today. We're seeing it each and every week now.
And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. You can count his carries on one finger. They've only given him the rock one time, Charles. What gives?
So we can't draw any conclusions just yet. He has to touch the ball multiple times in order to get into a rhythm and have a chance to have success. You know who else gets into a rhythm? The offensive line. They feel better about what they're doing when they know they've had multiple opportunities to get it done.
Yeah, well, the conclusion we can draw so far, they're losing here in the second quarter. Let's see if they change tunes.
Well, we progressed through the preseason, so let's prognosticate about the regular season. NFC.
Can we overanalyze?
Yeah, I want to overanalyze, too. NFC AFC, the 4 divisions, who do you have winning them?
Let's start in the East. The Philadelphia Eagles won the Super Bowl last year, got better in the offseason. I think they win their division again, although Dallas will make a strong run at them.
Okay. In the South, you were saying you like Atlanta.
Yeah, I do like Atlanta to get back to the top. Tough division. 3 teams in the playoffs last year. Atlanta, New Orleans, which won the division, and Carolina.
Going west, who do you have out there?
The Rams. They took over for the Seahawks last year. I expect them to stay on the top of the heap. But let's face it, a lot of excitement in San Francisco with Jimmy Garoppolo.
In the North, can Green Bay overtake Minnesota?
They can, but I don't think that they will. I think the Vikings defense carries them home. Kirk Cousins, their new quarterback. The Packers will challenge in a big way, but keep an eye on Detroit as well.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
I like what they tried to do there. They didn't get a completed pass downfield, but they came off of a momentum play. Big-time gain on the previous snap. Came right back and threw one deep. Hoping to catch him on their heels.
And not even back to the line of scrimmage this time as they're on him quickly once more. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that'll bring up a 3rd and 11 situation.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
Here's Winston. And this is going to be incomplete.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight, unable to find anyone open.
He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And problems spreading to the punt team now. This one goes all the way into the end zone on the fly, so that'll come back to the 20. Joe Flacco and company heading back out onto the field. They've sort of epitomized balance. I mean, he's thrown the ball pretty well. They've run the ball well. Got to be pretty happy over on that sideline.
Takes a lot of pressure off, doesn't it? As much as those guys back there want to throw the ball around and be the focal point, when you're able to run it well and hold the defense back from their pass rush, it allows you to throw it as well as we're seeing so far in this game.
Yeah, now they'll be looking to add to their lead here in the second quarter. And he's got his favorite target yet again. It's complete. That one good for 13 and a Raven first down. So in the second quarter, he's already up over 100 yards receiving now.
And isn't 100 the magic number for a really good game for a receiver? So he got a chance to really shatter that and have a profound effect on this game.
Bootleg, Flacco. He's going deep for, and that's caught inside the 35. And they'll take it into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown. John Brown, 2 catches, 2 touchdowns here so far. And the Ravens continue to pour it on. Now he's having a nice little first half here, partner.
And it's a first half that leaves us anticipating what can still come. I mean, 2 touchdowns already here through the second quarter. There could be plenty more before this game is over.
Here's Tucker now out to kick this one away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. And this offense trotting back onto the field. Let's turn our attention here to Ronald Jones. He's doing his thing. He's got some good yardage, but his team right now in the second quarter, 0 points.
Just not a complete formula. Half of it's there, being able to run the ball and set the tone. Wonder if they may have to go to some play action, throw off the run game, and try and get the ball in the end zone.
I was just going to ask you that same thing. Maybe you use that run now to set up the pass, right?
I would think so, because the run has been very effective for them.
Call it a gain of 5, and it'll bring up a second down. They'll run it now out of the gun. And that didn't fool anybody. He's going to be dropped in the backfield. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down.
That didn't appear to be a run blitz. He just started in once he saw the run develop. That appeared to be a case of see ball, get ball.
From the gun, Winston.
He's caught on his sideline, but he's not going to have a first down. They say he was out of bounds, so a big call there that brings up fourth.
Well, it's looking like another 3 and out here, and at some point, got to be able to put together a drive to keep your defense from having to go right back out on the field. I feel like things are starting to unravel a little bit, and we're not even at halftime.
And we'll see what he can do on the return. Spins away. And now running right through it. A very good return there. Give him an even 20 yards. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. John Brown now heading back onto the field as he gets set to go here. He has certainly made the most of his catches so far, both of them going for touchdowns here in half number 1.
And we've never met a team that doesn't talk about getting off to a fast start and featuring guys that they want to have the ball early. We're seeing both of those come into play here. Off to an incredible start, got their feature guy going, and now everyone else should have opportunities.
Now a nice play defensively on 1st down as this is knocked away and incomplete.
Well, CD, regular season inching closer. You know, looking at the ledger of the games, we'll just stick with the NFC right now, but it starts with a bang. Atlanta at Philly on the 6th.
How about the last 2 teams to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl head-to-head to start the season? The Falcons, they didn't win it. Philadelphia did. And then how about this for a second game? San Francisco at Minnesota. In normal years, it doesn't get as much attention, but how about now? Jimmy Garoppolo leading the 49ers to take on now Kirk Cousins' Minnesota Vikings.
Anything else there from the NFC Week 1 catching your eye?
Well, I think the Dallas Cowboys at Carolina, that definitely does, because the Cowboys are trying to get back to the playoffs. Dak Prescott, full season of Ezekiel Elliott, and, of course, number 1, the big man, Cam Newton, will welcome them to Charlotte. And to finish things off, the last game of the season openers, the Los Angeles Rams, last year's revelation, taking on John Gruden's Oakland Raiders. How about that?
There goes Alex Collins. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown. Alex Collins on his way to a historic performance, 4 first-half touchdowns, and the Ravens add on. And that rushing touchdown is 4th, puts him just 1 shy of the NFL record in a single game.
And we all know he would love to get to that record and even beyond it, but he doesn't need to in order to impress in this one, does he? What a performance. What an absolute great game that he's had here in this one.
And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Winston and the Bucs take over now, 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
3 down. Ready. Blue lady.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. Breaks through the contact. He's got the hook up here to Deshaun Jackson. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. He got 29 yards that time.
Okay, what can't Deshaun Jackson do? All right, we know about the catches. We just saw another one there. Also gets involved in the return game, and he can break big plays like that. We've seen him do it throughout his NFL career.
We have. What are you thinking of anything in particular?
Yeah, I'm still remembering a certain Giants punter not following orders, and Deshaun Jackson made that big-time return all the way back for a game winner in that one. I still remember seeing the looks of disbelief on the Giants sideline.
Winston. He sets up the screen to Jones. Broke through some contact, but unable to reach the 40. They get 7 there on the screen. It'll set up a 3rd down.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass. Looked like it was coming together. Looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid game.
Here's Winston. Now they go screen. It's complete. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. They get 6 on the pickup there as the drive will continue.
As an unbiased observer, I think it would have been interesting to see what they would have done if they hadn't gotten the first down there. But since they did, I guess the point is moot.
And they're right there in that middle ground, field goal range, punt, go for it. But as you said, they picked it up. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. Gets a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain, considering the blitz that they just had against them.
Now Winston. Blitz coming, and down he goes.
Enough takes to start to have a good drive. Quite like a big loss on a sack, does it?
Now they're looking at a 3rd and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And old Mo is a very, very fickle man.
3rd and long for Winston. Throw right side, caught by O.J. Howard. And he'll go down at the 28. They do get 12, but they'll be marked short. And that leads to a 4th down.
He wasn't the primary target, but I think it was almost like a check-down situation, wasn't it?
Yeah, hoping he can break some tackles, a big tight end, but he couldn't do it.
Yeah, get into that big frame and hope he can scatter some bodies, unable to get it done.
The Ravens offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. They are just putting things together so well here, drive after drive. They really have captured the momentum, haven't they?
They've taken momentum and pretty much not just give him a jersey, but a seat on the bench as well. Whatever do you need, you've got it, because the way they're stringing things together and creating that distance between them and their opponent, it's really hard to narrow that gap. And the other part is they're taking their spirit away from them, too.
Yeah, now they're just looking to add to that total. Flacco fakes the give, sets to throw. That's caught over the middle by Hurst. And he'll get this out to the 30-yard line. That'll put him at 190 receiving yards now. He's putting on a show. He also has a 1st down. And on that last play there, he's over 400 yards passing now.
You know what that generally means?
Success.
That, and it means you really didn't miss opportunities. Usually very accurate. The ball's getting to the right place. Guys are making yardage after the catch to help you out that way. I mean, the whole team has picked it up. And don't forget, that means the offensive line has had to pass protect pretty well, too.
Yeah, everyone dialed in. Well, they don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. Flacco. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And this time he's able to take it down to the 42. A gain of 6 there on 1st. 2 minutes to play here in the 1st half. We're back to Baltimore after this. We remind you that coming up at halftime, Jonathan Coachman will be alongside. He'll have highlights and analysis from Orlando of this 1st half of action. Throwing right, and that's complete. And he's going to get this inside the 30. The Raven passing game getting in sync, another 1st down. And these numbers on our monitor are getting hard to believe. He's closing in now right on the doorstep of 500 yards passing.
I'm glad that you watched the monitor and said it first, because I had trouble absorbing that. That's big time right there, right? That means everything just about has gone right for them and his squad in this game. Let's see if they can keep it up. And he continues to pile up the yardage. That puts him over $150 now. And this defense has really had its problems trying to keep him contained.
They go again with Collins. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. It goes as a gain of 8, and it moves the chains.
We don't talk about it very often, but sometimes there's a dip in intensity when you start the 2nd half, which can manifest itself in some sloppy tackling. And how about right there? He ran right through that weak tackle attempt.
A red zone 1st down for Flacco. His throw incomplete. The former 1st-round pick, Vernon Hargraves, the one who was there defensively.
This defense could use some more of these types of plays. How about him reading it, driving on the football, and he's right there for the pass breakup.
Incomplete on 1st down. Now Flacco on 2nd. That is caught at the 7-yard line. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game, because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
And that is incomplete. Now the throw on 3rd down, knocked away and incomplete.
Well, he'd been targeted quite a bit on this drive, and finally I think the guys on the defensive side, they said no more. They slapped the double coverage on him, made it very tough for him to get the ball.
On 4th down, it's Collins. And he will force his way into the zone for a Ravens touchdown. Alex Collins, a 6-yard touchdown run. And the Ravens continue to pour it on.
I heard a coach talk about those late-in-the-half scores, especially ones that give your team a pretty decent cushion. He said those could be the ones that could finish off a squad if you let them.
Yeah, they've got the cushion. This half has been theirs. Here's Tucker now out to kick this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Now the Buccaneers offensive unit back out on the field. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure, if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here.
Well, we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
So we're at halftime here in the Inner Harbor with the hometown Ravens on top as we send you down to Orlando where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much, and welcome.
Due to time constraints, we move you forward in today's broadcast to the beginning of the third quarter. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Out come the Buccaneers. They'll have it first to start in the third quarter. They come out here with a 0 on the scoreboard. What was said in that locker room? That's what I want to know.
I would love to have been in there because we often have the feeling that there's a lot of shouting, screaming, people upset. But typically, halftime locker rooms are a lot more clinical than that. And in this case, are they upset that the plays weren't working because of execution? Or did they think they were just bad plays to call?
Yeah.
We'll find out pretty quickly here if they feel like they had something going, but they just need to do it a little bit better or not.
We'll find out. They'll run it with Jones. Absolutely nobody fooled there. He's going nowhere fast as he stopped behind the line of scrimmage.
Brandon, that play typifies what we've seen from the offense all day long. They've had no success getting things going. I think for the offensive coordinator, he's got to go to that side of the play sheet that says, try something different. Try some specials, something they haven't seen all day to try.
And the Raven pressure too much. Down he goes.
It's been a tough one all game long for this offensive line. They're already down big, and now you know they're just going to come after the quarterback in a big way, don't you?
Yeah, they just can't get out of their own way right now. It's created an avalanche, and an avalanche is coming right on top of him. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. Taken in at the 22. Nearly a huge return, as it is. Still a very good one. 24 yards. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Baltimore with good starting field position as they come up 1st and 10. Play action. Flacco. And a scary incompletion, almost picked off. It would have been their first INT of the game. Instead, 2nd down.
You know, while we got a second, I did want to take a look back to the Hall of Fame inductions. Took place in Canton on August 4th. And what stood out to you from the ceremonies, from the speeches that you heard?
Well, for me, beside the speeches, just remembering their careers, I really flashed back at how much I enjoyed watching Brian Dawkins play, and his speech was terrific as well. Robert Dr. Doom Brazil with the Houston Oilers, absolutely loved him as a player. And Jerry Kramer had to wait so long with the Green Bay Packers. For him to get in, I thought was terrific, and I can't wait for next year. First ballot eligible guys, Tony Gonzalez, Ed Reed, and Champ Bailey. That's a strong class.
Another star-studded cast.
It's a 9-yard pickup on the play, and it'll be 2nd and about a yard.
But it's tough to be a defender in today's NFL because there's so many things to account for in today's passing game, including the back sneaking out of the backfield. Not bad as a Turkey Bowl where you have that center-eligible stuff, but still a lot of guys to account for.
At 5 yards on the play there as the drive will continue.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
First and 10, and Flacco looking to throw. This is caught, and he'll be taken down at the 2-yard line. The Raven passing game getting in sync, another first down.
And that's exactly why the Ravens drafted him, added him to their stable after drafting Hayden Hurst in the first round. A second tight end who can catch the football. He looks like a guy who's going to line up on the line of scrimmage. And
this is caught. Touchdown, Baltimore. Michael Crabtree, his second touchdown of the night. And the Ravens add on.
In order to lead in a game, you're going to get plenty of contributors, but that's his second touchdown catch of this game. He's one of the key guys in this one.
And you better believe he'll be looking for the hat trick here as this one continues to go. Here's Tucker now out to kick this one away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Now the Buccaneers offense gets ready to head back onto the field.
These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
Hey, while we've got a second, let's talk rookie running backs. Obviously, the headliner is Saquon Barkley, but there's a lot of good other backs in this class, are there not?
There certainly are, and there was a surprise first-round pick to many people out of San Diego State named Rashad Penny, who went to Seattle. They're trying to recreate that strong running game that they had that powered them to 2 Super Bowl appearances. How about Royce Freeman in Denver? A big-time pickup out of the University of Oregon. They expect him to be the lead runner when the season begins. He'll get every opportunity to do that. Kerryon Johnson in Detroit, out of Auburn. They haven't had a running game since I can't remember, and they need to take some pressure off of Matthew Stafford. Maybe Kerryon Johnson can power him that way. How about a couple below-the-radar guys? Chris Warren is leading the NFL in rushing after 2 weeks. Undrafted out of Texas, running the ball well for Oakland. And if John Kelly can step in and give them some good play in Los Angeles, they've got great insurance for Todd Gurley, who, of course, is their lead back.
A lot of good ones. Of course, the class would have been even better had Darius Geis not gone down with that ACL injury. Tough break for Washington.
Now a hit and a loose football. But fortunately, he's able to recover his own fumble, or that could have been trouble.
I know there's no magnet in the ball, but sometimes for the punt returner, after such a scramble, it sort of feels that way, doesn't it? He has it, he loses it, somehow the ball finds its way back to him.
Atone for his sin, and he's taking a deep sigh of relief right now.
Toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete.
Well, hey, we got to get in the AFC Week 1 talk. We talked about the NFC and what to look forward to on their schedule, but there's some great AFC games as well.
And many people believe the AFC West is as good a division as there is in the NFL. How about this for an opener? Kansas City Chiefs headed to take on the Los Angeles Chargers. Patrick Mahomes, the new quarterback for KC, has to deal with the pass rush of Joey Bosa and Melvin Ingram of the Los Angeles Chargers. And a second one that catches my eye is Houston at New England. The Texans always trying to measure themselves against the Patriots. Now they get back Deshaun Watson. They get back J.J. Watt and Whitney Merciless, and they take on the defending AFC champs in Foxborough.
And one crossover game is pretty interesting. How about Jacksonville against the Giants?
What I like about that one is you have a Jacksonville team that came so close to getting to the Super Bowl last year, but they and the Giants have a similar philosophy about how to play the game. They're going to be physical. They want to run the football. So Leonard Fournette for Jacksonville and the rookie for the Giants, Saquon Barkley, they could both get a lot of carries in that game. And last but not least in that one, how about Pittsburgh at Cleveland? People don't think about that game very much, but this has been the summer of the Cleveland Browns in preseason. Will Baker Mayfield actually hit the field? And can Cleveland start a new era with a big win over Pittsburgh?
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. So a nice job to break the one tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down. It'll be a pickup of 4, and it brings up 2nd and goal. So that run gets them about halfway home.
Yeah, it's now 2nd and goal. The end zone beckons. It looms. They can do whatever they want. Full playbook. Run it again, or they can go play action and try and put it in that way.
It'll be a gain of 5, and it's going to set up a 3rd and goal.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. Here's Collins. And he will force his way into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown. Alex Collins punching it in from a yard away. And the Ravens continue to pour it on. Tucker with the extra point. Able to punch it in on 3rd down. Makes it easier for those guys on the sideline. They didn't have a 4th down decision to make.
Yeah, could you feel the exhale? Because they were already thinking ahead, as all the good coaching staffs do. Anticipating, will we have to make the call? They already had it lined up. Never even got to it.
Now the Buccaneer offense gets set to take over. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets hit?
Now Jones is hit. He lost the football, and it's picked up by the Ravens. And they have the football and will take over at the 24-yard line.
They may have the edge on the scoreboard, but that hasn't made them passive, has it? I mean, they dialed up a pretty good run blitz there. And Brandon, you know that all blitzes aren't just designed to get to the quarterback and the passer. Sometimes you're just trying to take away every gap, every hole that might be created in a running game, and they did it to perfection and caused a fumble there.
Took away the gaps, took away the holes, took away the football. It's a really nice 15-yard pickup, and now it's 1st and goal. Right after the turnover, they come out throwing.
And that means it's a sudden change situation. We used to practice it on defense. Sudden change, get out there.
And he is into the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown. John Brown, a 9-yard touchdown grab. And the Ravens have used the short field to their advantage as they cash in for 6.
And this is obviously quite a performance. And most of the time when we talk about someone putting a team on their back, I think we're talking about a guy who runs the football. In this case, it's a guy out wide catching it, and he's done exactly that, truly leading his team right now towards victory.
3 touchdown catches. He's been the headliner. And is there bad blood here? I mean, go for 2 when you're up that much?
If there wasn't before, there is now. When you do that, you've just announced to everyone, you just don't care about the other side at all. All you care about is what you're doing, and they just want to pile up points.
They did. Now the Buccaneer offense set to take over again. And the turnover last time, that's sort of been symptomatic of their struggles here in this one.
Good word. I like it now, because you're exactly right.
Like that, don't you?
All game long, they've struggled moving the ball, turning it over on the last possession. Is that word again, symptomatic?
Yeah.
I like that.
Your analysis, symptomatic of the success of this broadcast.
What I like is that you gave me the word, and I just kept using it.
Ready? Black 25.
Play fake. Winston. And that is incomplete here. He was looking for Chris Godwin that time. That'll bring up 2nd down.
Well, right now, Charles, we sit in the thick of preseason, and, of course, that means we're in the thick of fantasy football draft season. So, the top 5. It's good to have David Johnson back, Le'Veon Bell, of course, Gurley, Ezekiel Elliott, Antonio Brown, all studs. Who would you take #1 in a fantasy draft?
Oh, that's a tough one, but I would look at Todd Gurley and David Johnson as my top 2 picks. Johnson missed all of last season with a wrist injury, and with potentially a rookie quarterback there and a little bit of a rebuild, he may get more work than he can possibly handle. Todd Gurley was a beast for L.A. last year, running it and catching it. But how about a rookie by the name of Saquon Barkley with the Giants? I think he'll get a ton of touches. And Alvin Kamara, he showed what he could do last year, both running it and catching it. And don't forget, returning it as well.
Still 3rd
That
down.
hold coming from the left side of the line.
Hands got caught in the cookie jar on that one, and the flag came out. Penalty against him.
Ready? Black 25.
Working out of the gun. Winston. Right side caught by Jackson. And he'll be brought down right at the 45-yard line. He'll get 17 back there, but it'll still lead to a 4th down.
Boy, they had a lot of real estate to make up there, but what a big-time play for them. Nice completion, excellent game. Now they're in 4th and manageable.
Just a little short, though, with that marker. And now here come the Ravens. And last time out, another touchdown. And I think there may be some empty seats around here by the time the 4th quarter comes around.
Yeah, I have to agree with you because this one's just about decided. But you know who benefits from all those empty seats? You and me, trying to get to the airport.
That's
the roads
true.
will be fairly clear
that is
by the time we have to
positive.
leave the booth.
That one goes for 24 yards.
And that's how you throw for a whole heap of yards in the game. You get efforts like that from your receivers. How about him laying out for that catch?
Yeah, excellent. Makes the quarterback look a whole lot better. To the right side, and he's got more complete. And he gets this down deep into Tampa Bay territory. And that one results in 35 yards. A nice job there, Charles. They picked up the blitz, were able to complete the pass.
That had the total feel of a quarterback in control. Red blitz, got him into the right protection scheme, so he doesn't get hit back there. He's got a chance to step up with supreme confidence.
Back now in Baltimore. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the 4th quarter. A very one-sided affair. Here's Flacco. And a flag comes in as that one falls incomplete. Well, let's see who this is on.
Pass interference. Defense.
Well, you won't hear any boos from this home crowd on that call.
No, not at all. And it's been a long day for this crowd waiting for this game. It's been a long evening as well. Finally, they feel they got a call.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he gets halfway home from the 4 down to the 2-yard line. Good first step there defensively, but they're still knocking on the doorstep, so maybe another run here?
I think so, and one of my favorite coaches, you say, son, if you could darn near lay down near the end zone and get in.
And he will take it in for a Ravens touchdown. Alex Collins taking it in from 2 yards out, and the Ravens add on. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. That's going to leave them with just 1 remaining here in this 4th quarter. Passing play, Flacco, and this is going to be caught. So add 2 more to the lead as they continue to pour it on here in the 4th. Oh, boy, rubbing a little salt in the wound there, going for 2 up this big.
You know, there's one time when I played, Brandon, and played against a team that was just absolutely pile driving us, and they ended up going for 2 late in the game. And I asked one of the guys, why'd you do that? He said, because we wanted to win by more. That feels like that type of situation.
Wow. Well, it could also result in a melee later, though. Winston and the Bucs take over now, 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. To throw, Winston. And he overshot him there. It's out of bounds, incomplete. He was trying to find Deshaun Jackson that time. And it's 2nd down.
Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
Another throw on 2nd down, and this one incomplete as well. He started out having some troubles back in the first half connecting with his receivers. Really hasn't gotten a whole lot better.
Yeah, he's at less than 50%, and you and I both know that just won't do. So I would think about spreading things out, putting it on the receivers, make them win those one-on-one battles on the perimeter, and find their way open.
Jameis to throw it. And this is caught by Jackson. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across. Across the 40-yard line.
I don't care how many times we say it, I still get a kick out of watching. Quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up, but I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune. And he goes down. The Ravens able to get to him.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. Now a second down throw for Winston. And his throw here is incomplete.
Had an open man that time, and ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely. Just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Winston from the gun on third down. And the defense has it covered. It's intercepted. Picked off by Tony Jefferson.
Well, this defensive pressure has been constant all game long. The pass rush, the coverage, they've all been excellent, and now they'll tack on an interception here as this one continues to slip just further and further out of hand.
They get the pick. Now what can Flacco do on first down? Oh, there's that man again. It's complete. And he's brought down. 16 yards on that one and a Raven first. Still throwing the football here, even with the big lead.
Yeah, I know you and I came up in a different era, and we think about sportsmanship and all that. Other people think about fantasy points and getting their numbers. That's all they care about right now.
Now Collins takes this to the 32, maybe the 31, and then the defense rallying quickly after that broken tackle. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 3.
Oh, that's one to warn. Of all those old school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run, got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
Saw through 3 quarters, no reason to lighten up now. Space to run past the 20. Oh, now he bowls him over and all the way down to the 5. A big hitter there, a first down gain of 26 yards.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the 4th as it was way back in the 1st, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry them.
And he will force his way into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown. Alex Collins, a 5-yard touchdown run. And the Ravens continue to pour it on. So another score there. Often you talk about the 3 phases of the game. Defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a 4th phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
They are looking strong here in the 4th quarter. So out come the Bucs now. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. On 2nd down, Winston again. Bringing it in, Jansen left side. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. That'll put him at 77 yards receiving for the ball game. It's a first down.
Partner, he sold the go route really well. Thought he was going deep, then curled it back inside for a nice completion.
DBs love when they pump the brakes, don't they?
Yeah, that's really a whole lot of fun. It's almost like you said, listen, if you're going to sell the go, just go. And let's see who's faster.
And he'll be taken down, but not before getting this inside the 30. And now we're going to get a timeout here called by the defense. So that will leave them with no timeouts left. Still plenty of time on the clock. We'll see how that affects things here in this fourth quarter. To throw is Winston. And he finds Howard complete. 11 more yards that go around. A first down as well.
When this offense can get their tight ends involved, they can move the football. Here, a nice route, able to look it in, and picks up the first down.
Finally, a first red zone opportunity for these guys. They have a 1st and 10 at the 18. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Terrell Suggs coming hard on the blitz. He dumps him for a loss of 8.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Throwing, Winston. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more.
My man, it's been a rough night for that offensive line, and it's only getting rougher. 5 sacks now that they've given up in this contest so far. It feels like the witching hour out here, doesn't it?
Okay, stupid question. What's the witching hour?
Yeah, the witching hour. That's when everything goes haywire late at night.
And this is going to be incomplete. Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target. Incomplete.
Sometimes the coverage is so good, no matter what you're doing on offense, you just can't shake anyone free. They try their best to find someone open, but they took away every passing out.
Oh, they get to the football. It's blocked. It's picked up. A live ball here, remember. Now it's scooped up, and this is a live football.
Well, that field goal block pretty much sums up the day for them, doesn't it?
Boy, it really does. What's the word we often use? Symptomatic. It's just been a sign of how this one's gone.
Give a lot of credit to the guys that got in and blocked the kick. They've had the advantage all game, and they continue to press it.
So now a chance for points in the opposite direction after the blocked field goal. Now a play fake here on 1st down. Looking left side, he's got a man. That's Collins. And he gets it down to the 32. To gain a 5 on the play, and that'll bring up 2nd down.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
They fake the handoff. Now Flacco to pass. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Andrews. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. They get 14 on that one. That's good for a Baltimore 1st down.
When you have someone throwing it that well, that confidently, you don't have to call the game in fear at all, do you? You just go ahead and play.
Yep, confidence with a lead to throw it here in the 4th, and boom, he's on the money.
Yeah, you don't have to tuck your head in until you get like turtle at this point. You just go ahead and play.
And he couldn't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. 17 more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
Setting up to throw Flacco. And this will be caught. And the carnage continues. It's another touchdown.
Well, this game is definitely over, but we do know some people like to go ahead and continue to add to their score, don't we?
Yeah, I don't know that they need to add any more right now, though. I'm just starting to think about those dinner plans tonight, my friend.
Well, you and I will be thinking about dinner plans, but we also know they're playing people are thinking, how can I get some more scores for my fantasy, for other things? They're trying to figure that part out now.
By the way, last weekend we went sushi because that's what you wanted. We're going steak tonight.
I'm in.
All right.
That's what I'm talking about.
And Tampa Bay trots out there now. Winston and the Bucs take over now, 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
Ready. Blue ready.
1st down, Winston. And incomplete on a deep ball. Mike Evans, the one he was looking for. And now it's 2nd down.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, 4th quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. Throw right side, caught by O.J. Howard. And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down.
One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Now throwing on third down there, but he cannot connect. It's been that kind of a day so far throwing the football. It just seems like nothing going right offensively.
Yeah, it's a catch that should have been made, pure and simple. And look, everything else that goes into running a good pass route, throw it all out if you don't catch the ball.
Been that kind of game throwing the football so far. Nothing going right offensively. A good return there, 17 yards. And we have reached the 2-minute warning. John Brown now heading back onto the field as he gets set to go here. So far, he has the trio of touchdowns. Obviously, it's been a pretty good game for him.
So if this were hockey, they'd be throwing their hats out on the ice for the hat trick, right? I'm not sure exactly what you do in the NFL except applaud and continue to hope you see a little bit more of this. What a tremendous game.
You want to start a new tradition? What can we throw on the field?
I don't know.
Throw your mic out there.
A lot of fans would like that. Cut his mic off.
3 touchdowns so far. So it's Raven football here as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Now it's Flacco. And that's caught inside the 30. A big hook up there. Flacco to the speedster Brown. 44 yards.
And they just hit another big completion there. And I think in days gone by in the NFL, you might have asked, is this a little bit of overkill? Is this rubbing it in? I don't think people feel the same way nowadays.
The age-old argument. Then you could say on the other side, if you're going to get angry about it, stop it, right?
Go ahead and stop me. And I think a lot of the times they just look at it like, let's just play the game. And however it turns out, it turns out. I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
And give him another 6. It's caught for a touchdown, and the blowout continues.
And now we've hit that stage of the game, partner, where one of our predecessors, one of the great commentators of all time, he used to sing in this situation when this game appeared to be over.
I know the fat lady's been singing for some time.
No, not her at all. This is
But
one of our
she's
guys.
singing too.
Oh, she's at least
She's on like the 5th tune at this point.
she left Scales way behind, but he used to sing something about turning out the lights. The party was over.
And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Here comes the Tampa Bay offense now heading back out onto the field. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this?
For a lot of coaches,
be honest.
Don't forget.
And Jameis intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off by Brandon Carr. Facing this 4th quarter deficit, felt like they had to throw the ball, and on the other side, they were ready.
No doubt about it. They're playing situational football. They look at the clock. They know the lead that they have, and all they're doing is playing pass on every down.
Playing the pass, picking it off, and now big time in the driver's seat. He's got his tight end on the corner route. It's complete. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. A big one there for the Ravens. It goes for 18.
There are so many things to watch for when you play defense. And reading your keys, you always hear about that, and having your eyes in the right place. Sometimes your eyes can fool you. How about that play action there? It sprang the big guy, didn't it?
Able to dump it over the top to him. And down inside the 15 he goes. It's a pickup of 11 at a Baltimore 1st down.
So much goes into a successful play, doesn't it? How about that play action there? Freezing the defense just enough. Swing the tight end free downfield.
And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals.
I've got to laugh here, and I really don't want to because the old school in me is not happy about this score this late, not necessary. But this is Madden, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is how it works.
Rub it in. Have a day.
I mean, what does it matter? These guys who are playing in this game, there are no feelings
Exactly.
there.
They don't have to face the guy. Well, they might if they're in the same room going head-to-head.
But that's
the
about
virtual guys on the screen don't have to face each other after this one.
In that case, run it up.
And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. And Tampa Bay trots out there now. They are down big. They have not scored a single point.
I don't know, are they so defeated at this point you just want to get in the locker room and get the heck out of here?
That is one way to approach it. Sometimes coaches say, that's it, okay?
And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. Picked up by the longtime Charger, Eric Weddle. And to the 40-yard line, that's where the return stops.
Well, Charles, he's thrown 5 picks in a game before, and right now, after that one, he's standing on number 4.
And right now, your defensive coordinator is asking the offensive coordinator, can you do anything to slow this down? Because my guys have to keep running back out on the field. So play calling may come into it a little bit, maybe run the ball a little bit more, but a lot of it depends on the scoreboard. They may have to keep throwing it.
The storyline of this one, Charles, no doubt the number 0. Zilch, nada. A shutout so hard to do in the NFL.
It really is, and what an accomplishment, because you feel that not just on the defensive side, but as a full team. There's a lot of pride that goes into shutting out an opponent. And how about that 0 on the scoreboard for them, going along with those zeros in the time column too.
So that's a wrap for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gunn. And this has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. For more, check us out at easports.com. The Ravens are victorious here as we say so long from Baltimore.
I know y'all have missed me a couple. I know y'all have missed me a couple of days for live streaming. I have been sick, so y'all get a live stream. So since y'all get a live stream this morning, y'all get another one this afternoon. I'm not sure what I'm gonna play this afternoon. Might be finishing up Resident Evil 7 on normal mode, but we'll see what happens. I might have something planned, I don't know. Let's see what happens. But thank you guys for joining in. I'll see you guys this afternoon.